Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It's now 2 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. It is our Friday edition. So glad to have you with us. Now, we are going to be talking about a genre of music. We call it Jaiso. It's a combination of jazz and kaiso. And guess who we have in studio? None other than the founder of this genre of music, Mr. Charlo Alfonso. Mr. Alfonso, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Jaiso, I love it. Love the name. So this mixture of jazz and kaiso, how did you get that fusion?
That fusion really came while we were all studying at UTT. And it just happened to be the fact that we were just playing a lot of jazz and kaiso because, I mean, we're from Trinidad.
Yes, of course.
And we playing together for a while, and then somebody asked, so what's the name of the band? And I said, band? They said, we just playing. And I said, well, we playing jazz and kaiso, Jaiso. And we just went with it and stuck with it.
Nice. And how long ago this was?
This would have been about 2018. Nice. So in my final year of UTT, and the other members would have been third years, second years, first years even.
Right. So this would have been like a year before the COVID-19 pandemic, so people probably didn't get a lot of chance to listen to it. I know you have a concert that's coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes, so this concert, we're calling it Jaiso Festival. Previously it would have been called Project Charlo, because those would have been fundraisers while I was going to study do my master's abroad. With this festival, we're trying to create the next premier young jazz festival. Because we're thinking that we would like to play jazz, create a space for us to vibe with the audience, but it isn't necessarily a space for young people to play jazz and to connect with the audience. So we're trying to create that space for the local jazz talents, the under 25 crowd even, and local artisans even to come and just showcase their stuff.
Now, when you say the young talent, what particular artists or musicians you're going to be seeing at the concert?
Young talent, so you're going to have myself, of course. You're going to have the people I went to school with, vocalists such as Quinton Nichols, Tahila Jones, Riyad Mohammed. We also play with our professor, Tony Paul, Anthony Woodruff, and people that have inspired us, coming out of the young talent, you jump like Bugsy Sharp, Ray Hallman, we get to play with them as well as showcase that, all those years of studying meant something.
Of course. In terms of the instruments, though, for example, are we going to be seeing saxophone? Are we going to be seeing flute? All those sort of things?
So Jaiso, the band is, I want to say, probably like one of the largest bands you're just going to find. We have 4 wind instruments. We have 2 saxophones, 2 brass instruments, bass, keys, drums, piano, pan, vocals, percussion. Yeah.
And so what has been the views thus far when people hear this genre of music?
Thus far, I won't say we're necessarily a new genre, but we're just fusing what is there already. Because jazz and kaiso, in my opinion, they're interchangeable, they're intertwinable, they have similar histories, and people have been, especially my generation, they've been kind of shocked, like, oh, we didn't realize jazz could sound this way, jazz could be fun. Because lots of people associate jazz with this old sound, or they associate, kaiso with this old time kind of sound, and we're like, not really. We just vibes in, we having fun. And people are like, yeah, I kind of like this sound, this big band sound, and you get the brass, you get the vibes, the percussion, the pan. So they say, oh, I didn't really realize that jazz and kaiso could sound high energy,
Yeah. Do you think it's going to take off in a way where you will want to collaborate with other artists, even other bands as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, the goal is really to have more acts and create a festival already. So like a whole day kind of thing, similar to Jazz on the Greens, because that's where all of us would have gotten our, I guess, first real shot to play, to perform in, I guess, the big leagues in the jazz scene and the market. Because our professor, Tony Paul, would have brought me out to play with him on bass. And, huge shout out to him and Nigel Campbell, and they gave us that opportunity to really see what playing in Trinidad is like in a professional sense.
Nice. And so how does it feel to be in charge of this band that is playing this sort of new or different sort of genre of music?
Honestly, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Because it's my friends, we studied together for all that time, and it doesn't really seem like, work. But it just seems like, how could we play and just make the most fun out of what we're doing, but to allow the audience to understand and really feel what we're feeling. So that's really the whole vibe about it.
Yeah. Is this your first concert after the pandemic?
Yeah.
And how does that feel as well?
Oh, it is an insane amount of excitement.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, we have not seen each other since before the pandemic. Me especially, because I've been outside of Trinidad. And when I finally came back, I'm like, yo, this is the first time I'm seeing my friends and first time I'm getting to play with them again. So it's an insane amount of excitement from the rehearsals, before, after. We don't want it to end. So we're kind of very, very excited about the show.
And on August 13th, are we going to be seeing original songs? Are we going to be seeing some songs that maybe some classics even in the mix?
You're definitely going to see more classics and arrangements of things. You may see one or two originals from some of the members of the band, but more so arrangements. Because me in particular, I like to put my own spin on, some of the older songs, some of the more contemporary songs. And that's mainly the vibe that you're going to be getting.
All right. And it's taking place on August 13th. Where is it taking place and what time?
Taking place at, doors open at 7, show starts at 8 in Curiosity Grounds.
So you haven't gotten into the whole festival mode yet, but you want to get to the festival soon.
Yeah, I want to walk
Yes.
before I could run. Because we're a new band, and all those sort of things like funding and to try and host a big event like that is very difficult.
Of course.
But, we taking it one step at a time, and we aiming at the festival feeling soon enough.
All right. And Charlo, tell us where we can get tickets and more information about the event.
So more information you can find it on our socials at Jaiso the Band.
Right.
On Instagram. You can message me on Instagram, Charlo Alfonso. You can contact my phone number, 494-7205. Even my mother's, 735-6911.
You're giving out mommy number, you sure?
Yeah. She's mamager.
Okay,
she's
good.
Mommy slash manager. She's been the most important person with regards to handling everything, managerial side.
Okay, great. All right, well, Charlo, let me thank you so much for coming in and sharing about what's happening. Jaiso Festival, which is taking place on August 13th at the QRC grounds. Remember, you can contact Charlo, you can contact the manager, you can go on their social media to get more information about the event. Charlo, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
This is the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.